at all. It was never difficult to feel excited about Krishna Loka when in Prabhupada's association. But why do we expect to get the same result from people that are not on Prabhupada's same platform?
You see?
I mean, I knew Bir Krishna back in the 1970s when he was still married to his wife, who's interestingly named Bir Mala. So Bir Krishna, Bir Mala, people used to think it was amusing that they had names just like that. You know, I guess they were married when Prabhupada initiated it. One's Bir Krishna, one's Bir Mala. And he was a nice devotee, but he didn't appear to be a, you know,
Uttama Adhikari.
Well, yeah, he didn't appear to have descended in a burst of sunlight or starlight or something from the sky, loaded with experiences having lived in Krishna Loka. The whole point of the guru, what's the use of a guru if he cannot give you an experience, a vicarious experience of being in Krishna Loka? It's not about knowledge. It's not about ritual. It's not about repeating prayers over and over again. We're not Catholics. We're not Hindus. We're not Jews. We're not Muslims. That's what we're not. What we are is persons who have an excitement for where we came from originally.
Right.
We all came from Krishna Loka. All the religions on earth are sunk down into sectarian traps, including Krishna consciousness is getting there too. Sectarian traps. What is a sectarian trap?
My guru.
Pure devotee. What?
My guru, your guru, this guru, that guru.
Yeah, and every time you have this guru, that guru, my guru, your guru, the minute we have that, then you have difference of opinion.
Yes.
But when you have Prabhupada, there's no difference of opinion. Why should there be difference of opinion with Prabhupada?
John, you see it? You see, Prabhu? What's the problem here?
Now, people say you need a living guru. Well, I think it's pretty hard to imagine. I mean, if you need a living guru, do you also need a living God? Lord Chaitanya, is he alive? Is Krishna alive?
Of course he's alive.
Well, I'm asking, what's our friend's name?
His name is Chandra. Edwin Chandra.
Chandra?
Yes.
Like the moon?
Yes.
Ah, well, the moon must reflect the sun. So Chandra Prabhu, what is the difficulty? Can we not get pure, undiluted, ecstatic, spiritual Krishna consciousness by hearing Prabhupada? Does he have to have a physical body, or can his subtle body or his spiritual body suffice? Why shouldn't Prabhupada's spiritual being be sufficient? Whereas, do you have to have some guy that eats, mates, sleeps, defends in a body made of pus and blood and stool and urine before you can get Krishna conscious?
Yeah.
My question is why? And I'm suggesting that you may be feeling discouraged for the simple reason that there's not enough spark of spiritual excitement.
Yeah. There's no excitement in his life. So well,
if you listen to Prabhupada, I don't think you'll find anything devoid of excitement.
Try. Yeah.
So what do you think, Ramachandra?
Excellent. I was just introducing his sister is in Los Angeles, and her sister knows you. So.
Oh, who is the sister?
Now, I'm not sure if you know her, but.
Well, if she knows me, how come I don't know her?
Well, everyone knows you, but you don't know them. So that's a different. That's not the right question to ask.
That makes me feel very lonely, you know.
Yeah, with your relative understanding, you don't know anyone, and you don't want to know them
I'm
anyway.
not spiritually advanced enough to know her.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. We'll talk again.
Oh, he's leaving?
Yeah, he's leaving. He has to.
Why is he
Haribol.
leaving? Why is he leaving?
He has had enough.
Oh, no, really? He hasn't asked any questions.
Well, he's a very shy guy, so he doesn't want
Why can
to.
you ask a shy question?
He's gone. So we got to continue our program now. Haribol. Okay.
Oh, well, what happened? What did he want from me, or just to say hi?
Just to say hi and just to introduce you to him. That's it. No,
Oh,
nothing.
no philosophy.
Nothing political, nothing philosophical. Just say hi. What you
There's
doing?
nothing Krishna consciousness does not contain politics.
Yeah. Just wanted to make
If
that
there's
clear.
politics, then you can know one thing for sure: it's not Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll share this writing.
Is Mohit coming on?
I think so, maybe. I don't control people's.
But he's not here yet.
Yeah, not here yet. We gotta wait till they join. Okay. All right.
Do you think I said too many things, or should I have just said hi? How are you?
No, everything you said was impactful. It must be impactful.
Well, the whole point is Krishna consciousness in its reality is impactful.
Yeah, that is our standard.
We're not here to pat each other's butts.
Yeah, exactly.
Comfortingly.
All right, so let's get going.
We're here to hit the nail on the head using common sense.
All right, Srila Prabhupada at the center for the 10,000 years. Rupa Manjari Prabhu, can you take charge here?
Sure.
Excellent.
ISKCON will be perfect when the criminal GBC is out of range and Srila Prabhupada's kirtan tapes are used several hours per day to deeply infuse all devotees with his eternal everlasting sound vibration. Then, when this Shravanam process is developed, each ISKCON temple kirtan will be very good emulation of Srila Prabhupada's Krishna Loka kirtan styles. Take that same level of kirtan out on Sankirtan, and all the living beings who hear his sound of the Hare Krishna mantra will leap into ecstasy simply by hearing. Once that takes place, only the stupidest, greediest, most power-hungry GBC-appointed initiators will see their own version as better than that of Srila Prabhupada's eternal Krishna Loka sound vibration. We were completely cheated by the criminal GBC in 1970, and then when they murdered Srila Prabhupada in 1977. Nice try, no cigar. Srila Prabhupada's presence is fully manifest in his kirtan tapes, Mridanga lessons, lectures, etc. And no limp-wristed criminal GBC appointed initiator can simply slip in and take his place. Solution? With the headphone Sangha, each and every temple in ISKCON can inexpensively continue to be the bona fide disciples of Srila Prabhupada for the next 10,000 years. In a few years, we will all be dead and gone. So let's plan the future of ISKCON with Srila Prabhupada as the transcendental spiritual master of ISKCON. Isn't that simply common sense?
Right. Yeah. Well, very simply put.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these, issues or problems or things that are going on in Srila Prabhupada's movement, which is run by the criminal GBC, is because of this main thing that they have introduced something.
But they started early.
Very early, yeah. A lot of people don't.
They started early by having different kirtan melodies other than Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Instead of studying at the feet of the master, they
Right.
decided to do their own thing.
Yeah. Right.
Now, which would you say is more in the character of the disciple? To study at the feet of the master or to do your own thing?
Obviously, you have to follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, not make your own footsteps, or make your own understanding. Just follow the
Well,
program.
then why is it so completely accepted that you don't do that?
Well, because like we discussed, that they started very early to remove Prabhupada from the picture. So
Yes, 1970 and a little earlier,
yeah,
they did, yes.
so this is the difficulty because a lot of devotees joined after 1970. The majority. I mean, I joined in 2008 or 2009 or something. So
nobody's holding you to blame. No one is blaming you.
No,
No
I
one
know.
is blaming anybody.
Right.
Everybody just went along with you. What is it?
With what they were told.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go along to get along, right?
You go along to get along. Right. Right.
So, but they trusted that they were being given the right story. They trusted that if they come to ISKCON, they don't. I mean, if they come to ISKCON and the GBC says, "Oh no, you don't get Prabhupada, you get a new successor guru." Okay, I guess that's what I'm supposed to have. Why would they say otherwise? Why would they say, "I came here with Prabhupada, and you son of a bitch, I'm not moving until I get Srila Prabhupada"?
Yeah, right.
I mean, who's going to say that?
No
People
one
come in a humble state of mind.
Right. They've trained to be humble. They come to the Krishna consciousness movement and be like, that.
Well, even without being trained, they're going to be humble because, right?
Yeah, because they're trying to learn something.
If a person comes to find God, don't they at least theoretically imagine that they need to be humble?
Yeah. But
So if
Prabhupada,
somebody's there to cheat them, they say, "Aha, here comes a humble person. Let me take his wallet and his watch."
Okay. I want to share this quote with our group here about being humble. Srila Prabhupada writes, this is in context in a morning walk conversation. Prabhupada says, what does Prabhupada say here? Prabhupada says, all rascals, don't waste time, but see their rascaldom, Satsarup. One claim the scientists make is that they're more humble in their knowledge than we are. They don't say that this is the absolute. Srila Prabhupada, why we should be humble? We're not foolish men. That we shall be humble. We must be proud of our knowledge. You are foolish. You become humble. The dog is humble. Man is not humble. The dog may bark. Man, shut up immediately. You are like dogs. Huh?
Nice.
Why should we be humble? Prabhupada says, we're not foolish, man, that we shall be humble. We must be proud of our knowledge. You are foolish. You become humble. The dog is humble. Man is not humble. The dog may bark, and the man says, shut up immediately. So you are like dogs. Huh?
Nice.
So there goes the humble sage.
Yeah. So Ramachandra,
Yes.
can you give us an idea? Can you sort of start to paint like an artist and take a canvas and start painting an impression of the ISKCON of tomorrow? Can you describe what that might be like?
Oh, that's an excellent question. The ISKCON of tomorrow. Well, this is why we have this program here, right? ISKCON of tomorrow. This is. Oh, what do you mean? The bona fide ISKCON or the ISKCON of tomorrow? Can you refine that question? I mean,
Well, can you imagine that the ISKCON tomorrow will not be the bona fide ISKCON?
oh, obviously it has to be the bona fide ISKCON because we can see, at least with our limited experience talking to our friends in India and abroad, we see that the system is breaking down. I can see it. You can see
What
it.
is this? The system of criminality. They stole ISKCON. They distracted from Prabhupada. They didn't want people to chant Prabhupada's melodies.
Yes.
They want to replace Prabhupada with gurus that don't know their,
Jack shit.
their,
Yeah.
yeah, their hind end from a hole in the ground.
Right. Right.
They don't know.
And I was
But
saying,
the people accept it because everybody wants to belong to something. And if they think this is what Prabhupada wanted, why shouldn't they do it?
yeah, yeah. So
getting people to understand that this is not what Prabhupada wanted, that's what I'm interested to know. Can you go into some depth on that? How
Well,
do we distinguish that this isn't what Prabhupada wanted?
it's very hard to get people out of their, rotten understanding. I mean, I myself suffered from that for many, many years. And then up until when I was very, very burnt out, I was like, I'm gonna give this up. And then eventually things got arranged in a way that I could get in association with the right people.
You might say it's hard to do if you're approaching it from a certain angle, right?
It's hard to do in a sense because if I wanted something from these people or the institution, then I wouldn't have been able to do that because I would have had to go along.
But how about we're not dealing with institutions and we're not dealing with people. We're dealing with a person multiplied by thousands.
So, well, it comes down to the individual person. If the individual person, yes,
so is the individual person becoming satisfied by the status quo of what's going on right now? I mean, we can say they are, but are they?
Yeah, that is a very internal question for them,
Well, of course, each individual has the body, and he's a jiva, and he has contact with Krishna through Krishna consciousness movement. The question is he becoming satisfied spiritually?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, that's a question to all the viewers who are watching online and on Facebook. So they can chime in.
Why not explore that a bit as to why are the people that you know spiritually satisfied? As much so as if they were like in the early days of the movement, chanting like Prabhupada, following Prabhupada, hearing nothing but Prabhupada. When I came to the temple in Frederick Street, there was a record player. All we had of Prabhupada in terms of recording was one record. And they played it all day long. It's the Hare Krishna mantra record. And on the other side it says, it gives that verbal discourse on the Hare Krishna mantra. But anyhow, if you wanted to walk into the temple, that's all you heard was Prabhupada chanting, leading kirtan on the record. Record was on the right-hand front side of the temple, plugged in, and it was playing. And when it got finished playing, it would go back and play again.
Haribol, yes.
So let me understand from you, of the people that you know, are they becoming spiritually satisfied?
Well, I don't think so.
Are they becoming sociologically satisfied?
I think they're sociologically unsatisfied also, because the jiva doesn't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I can see.
Not even the Hare Krishna mantra?
Oh, I mean, Hare Krishna mantra. That is not. How can we say? That's not that. I mean, service-wise, Hare Krishna mantra is, and then pushing on the movement. That in that way.
What is the movement? What's the authentic movement?
Oh, chanting on the streets, and then chanting on the streets in every town and village, and then getting
in the mood of your GBC guru?
Oh, definitely not. in the mood of the Acharya of Srila Prabhupada.
Who's Vanacharya?
I said Srila Prabhupada of the,
Oh, well, is
Acharya of ISKCON.
that out of reach? Is it possible? If people
Oh,
say
it's
he's
not.
not here, you have to replace him with somebody. Do you have to replace him? And if so, why?
I mean,
Why would they argue that Prabhupada needs to be replaced?
I have no idea why would anyone say that unless they're.
They say it.
Yeah, Bhir Krishna said that, something like we should make our life's goal to bring people closer to Srila Prabhupada and make them to surrender to Srila Prabhupada. And then after that, he says, I am acting as a bona fide guru. So.
Okay, but if he wants to bring people to Prabhupada, how much does he get them to chant like Prabhupada?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say?
Not at all.
Okay, so how can you bring people closer to Prabhupada without Prabhupada's personal sound vibration?
Yeah.
Now, what if we say, is Prabhupada's sound vibration, personal sound vibration, the means, the gateway, the key, the lock, the door to go back to Godhead? Is that possibly true? The Prabhupada's personal sound vibration is the means by which we enter the kingdom of God.
Yes.
What do you think, Ramachandra?
Can you re-ask that question? Someone asked a question. I'm just trying to see what he's saying. Is Prabhupada's sound vibration the means to what?
Go ahead, Rupa.
Can you explain, Prabhu?
Rupa, can you do?
Summarize what Narayan Prabhu said, or Narayan Prabhu can repeat?
No, I love Rupa saying.
I forgot it.
Okay. The back ball is in your court.
Okay. So the question is there a way to go back to Godhead without Prabhupada's personal sound vibration?
No.
How do you know?
How do I know?
Because he's the
Well,
Acharya.
I know, but what about all these people that have become gurus? Aren't they supposed to be taking their followers back to Godhead?
Well,
And don't the followers believe that they're going back to Godhead if they listen to their
how
appointed guru?
can anyone take anyone else back to Godhead? The process is there to go back to Godhead, which the Acharya Srila Prabhupada has given. But even Prabhupada doesn't, hold your hand and push you in the door. You have to do the work. So why are we?
It's not really a question of doing the work. You have to enter into his mood.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
refined question. Yes. So yes,
If
You-
you
you have-
enter into his mood, then whatever he does, you are doing vicariously. Just like when you chant or sing, your hands may vibrate, your throat may vibrate, your cheeks may vibrate. That's not their business to vibrate, but it's what happens when you chant. You see? In other words, Prabhupada chanting to someone who's surrendered to him, that person begins to vibrate in Prabhupada's vibration.
Right.
Is that incomprehensible?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Ramachandra? Are you there?
yeah, it's comprehensible.
Well, is it the way Krishna consciousness is currently being taught?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, why not? I mean, isn't it obvious if you have a guru, you follow your guru? When I say
Well-
guru, I mean, if you have Lord Chaitanya, you follow Lord Chaitanya. You don't follow Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Prakasananda Saraswati.
Well, yeah, these many criminal-minded gurus who are initiating have very deviant ideas. So
But their disciples think they're wonderful.
yeah, but the disciples do think they're wonderful. Like I posted a video on your wall where Indradumna Swami is throwing some children on the floor and then putting his putting his feet on their head. I've never seen Prabhupada do that, throwing children down on the ground purposefully and then just to, put his feet on their head.
People feel that Indradumna Swami has an altogether too intimate relationship with children.
Yeah, that was very disturbing.
I didn't see that on my wall.
Okay, yeah, you should check it out. I posted it.
That's so
Yeah,
totally
my-
disgusting.
Yeah, so this is the type of gurus you have, the criminal GBC has appointed. So,
Okay, so if you were going to recommend replacing them, how do you do that?
replacing what?
These gurus,
They were
People
never
have,
gurus. They're
whatever
just,
they are, how do you replace
they're
them?
shopkeepers.
People call them gurus,
Hmm,
right?
They think of them as gurus.
Yeah, that's the point.
hmm.
So if they think of them as gurus, what do they need to see in order to have an actual spiritual experience?
Throw you down on the floor, then put my feet on your head.
That's cute, but I mean, I'm talking practically.
Everyone, when that was performed, everyone went wild. At least that's what I saw. So, yeah. So this, so people
why
have a
are we concerned? If you see somebody doing something wrong, why are we concerned unless we feel that we've been rejected because we don't accept them?
Well, that's the thing. They can think whatever they want, and why do we
Yeah,
care?
but we're thinking against them rather than thinking beyond them.
Beyond them would be that this is not necessary. These gurus are not
No, that's not
necessary.
beyond them. Not necessary is still inside of them.
No, I'm saying that whatever they're doing, it's not actually needed.
But what is needed?
Prabhupada is needed.
How do you replace them with Prabhupada? How do you replace Prabhupada? How do you replace them and substitute Prabhupada for them?
You mean in an
Or-
institution? Or
Why do you need it? Prabhupada didn't have an institution.
no, I'm saying you just accept Prabhupada. That's it. Why you have to go jump around like a monkey? I mean, if you
Am
know,
I jumping around like a monkey?
no, I'm saying the people. I said the people who are not convinced, they can take whatever guru they
Convinced of
want.
what? Convinced of what?
Convinced in the sense that,
Convinced that Prabhupada is the true guru.
yeah, Prabhupada is a true guru. They can do anything they like.
Yeah, but do they think that's what they're doing? Or do they think what they're doing is bona fide?
They think
That's-
that what they're doing is bona fide.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Ramachandra?
Yeah, I certainly do agree because, they follow them like,
They've put their faith in them.
yeah.
Okay, so that is because they think that they're going to reach spiritual perfection if they put their faith in them, correct?
Yeah.
Do you agree, Ramachandra?
Yes, certainly. I agree to some. I don't know if they have what's that term? Guilty beyond, what is it called? There's a
Innocent until
term.
proven guilty?
Yeah, innocent till proven guilty. So there's some doubt there, proof, burden of,
Okay, but the real question is, we're busy putting down bogus gurus,
hmm, hmm,
which will not help us even slightly.
hmm, hmm.
Let them do what they're doing.
Yeah,
What we're
right,
doing is,
right.
yeah. So who cares what they're doing?
Hmm.
But they shouldn't do it in ISKCON.
Right. They shouldn't do it. Yeah, they should have their
But
own.
what should be happening in ISKCON?
Worship of the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada.
Just worshiping him?
Following him.
In what way?
Emulating him in word, thought, and deed.
Jai.
Yeah. What about in sound vibration?
Sound vibration also? Yes.
Also, and a little extra.
In every
The
way.
sound vibration is a little extra.
Yeah, why not? I'm just kidding. In every way possible. Sound, I mean, sound is the most important thing, right?
Okay.
So from the sound comes what? The instructions, the
What
writing,
is the sound?
the Hare Krishna mantra, and his the way he chanted, the way he danced. That is sound. The way he spoke.
Why not say dance, chants, and dances in the present tense?
Yes.
Is he eternal? Isn't he eternal?
Yes. Eternal.
So where's the past tense?
There's no past tense.
Well, why are we talking about past tense?
Yes, we are.
Chanted, danced.
Chanting of chanted. Right.
Anytime you turn on the sound of a tape recorder or a computer and Prabhupada is chanting, that's in the present tense.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Rupa, did you hear that tape, that thing finally that I sent you?
No, I'm sorry, I forgot to do it.
Okay.
Well, do you have it handy, Ramachandra?
I do, but I want to ask this question. This devotee asked a question, so we'll
Okay.
do that after this question. So
Yeah, I'd like Rupa to play maybe 5 or 10 minutes of it so we can hear what the kirtan that Prabhupada generated sounds like.
okay. So yes, I will play that in just 1 second. So let me ask this question by that same devotee. So he's asking a question about offense. He's saying,
Is this the guy that we talked to?
yes, yes. Yes, Rupa Manjari Prabhu. What did
I
you
had the
say?
same question.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's asking the question, let's see, what about the question of offense? He can talk about his God brothers like that, but we can't because they are disciples of Prabhupada. That's why we see them as Prabhupada. So he's asking that, Narayan Prabhu, because you're God brothers with them, and then talking about something
With who? With him?
no, with like
You said God brothers with him.
let's see. He's basically saying because your God brothers who are physically initiated, just like you are, you can talk about them, but we cannot. Isn't that offensive? Talking about what they did or what they.
First of all, why would it be offensive?
Yeah, so that's what I told him. Why would it be offensive talking about it? I think he has a very very bad understanding of Krishna consciousness, or he thinks
The point is
anything.
the source of the Maha Mantra. We're not here to evaluate people and what their relationship is to other people or even their relationship to Prabhupada. We're here to evaluate how to get access to the purest possible access to the Hare Krishna mantra. Why does it need such a complicated bunch of stuff to talk about? Why do we have to talk about so much stuff when what we want to do is find the Hare Krishna mantra?
Try.
How difficult is it to find the Hare Krishna mantra?
Just yeah, very, very not difficult. Very, very easy.
Okay, if it's very, very easy, then if they're not doing it, if the gurus and the God brothers are not doing it, that he's so worried about offending, if they're not doing it, I ask the question, why aren't they doing it? Don't they want to go back to Godhead? Or do they think they have the system beat and they can do what they damn please and still go back to Godhead? Or are they simply interested in playing around like a bunch of kids in the schoolyard without even a thought of going back to Godhead.
Hmm.
I mean, where's the reality here? Are people taking up Krishna consciousness to go back to Godhead? Or are they just joining a club and whichever club you're part of, and that's good, and then you don't want to offend that guy because he's a part of another club? Is that it? Is that Krishna consciousness?
Well, that's
Is that going to deliver the fallen souls for 10,000 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do we get down to? Well, you know, it's very dangerous to simply fault find
Hmm.
because then we're stuck. It's sort of like when I was prepubescent, there were some guys that used to fight with me all the time, and I would generally win, even the six of them, I would win fighting them because I would duck and they'd hit each other and stuff like that, you know? There was a certain ways of surviving. From the 4th grade until the 9th grade, I had to go through that fighting practically every day. Just amazing. But then in the 9th grade, they wanted to fight, but everybody was reaching puberty. And guess what? I switched to intellectual talk. I defeated them with words. Say, come on, let's fight. I said, no. Are you so stupid that you can't answer my question? Are you so stupid that you do not know how to respond to intelligent outlook? You want to fight. What for? I didn't tell them I didn't want to end up smelling like them, which was my primary objection. I don't want to smell like a bunch of bad people and go home smelling like a bad person. So I just told them, no, if you cannot defeat me with your brain, then you lose. What are you going to do? Come up with your fist, which is smarter than your head? Is that what you're going to do? So that's what I'm saying in this situation. How do we win with words? Not just insulting each other or this, that, you know, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't help. If we're just serving Prabhupada, how do we make Prabhupada the person that everyone wants to hear? As opposed to, oh, he's doing it wrong. Oh, that guy's doing it worse. These guys are all terrible. They're all a bunch of stupid people. Why should we go that direction? Why don't we give the purest teaching and defeat them with that? That's what Lord Chaitanya did when he encountered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Prakasananda Saraswati. He didn't get into you guys are bogus conversation with them. The only reason he was talking with them because they were bogus. But he didn't say so. He defeated them. So our question is, how do we defeat those people who somehow or other felt they were entitled to replace appointed men to take the place of Srila Prabhupada? Is that a complicated question? Go ahead, Ramachandra, what do you think?
It is not a complicated question. These people who are trying to replace Srila Prabhupada will be replaced themselves. So
that's not our point. Well, our point is, how do we show the initiates, them too eventually, how do we show the initiates that they can go straight to Prabhupada? What reasoning are you going to use to convince a person who's initiated by Dear Krishna or someone like that? How are you going to convince them that they can go straight to Prabhupada? And they could have always have gone straight to Prabhupada. And even before they were born, you could have gone straight to Prabhupada if it was after 1970. How are you going to do that?
Well, you can explain it to them just like you're saying that you take shelter of the person who has written the book. So if they got a book from Srila Prabhupada, they're already doing that.
Yeah,
So
but what about the sound vibration?
Oh, the sound vibration is there also.
The kirtan, the
Oh,
sound vibration of the kirtan.
Oh, the sound vibration.
Is that all the same, no matter who chants?
No, it's not all the same.
Could you kindly explain the difference?
Well, one is the Krishna, Prabhupada descending from Krishna Loka and giving, and the other is, what I learned from my grandmother, who might have been a fish eater or beef eater or something. So there's two different.
No, I'm talking about people that are initiated by Krishna Dumna or something, or about your Krishna. I don't think their grandmother was a meat eater. Oh, his grandmother undoubtedly was a meat eater. But the thing is, you see what I'm saying?
So you're saying that what is the difference between Srila Prabhupada's Krishna Loka melodies, because Acharya coming down, and for example, Bir Krishna's guitar tune?
Yes. Does he play guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, a lot of difference. Prabhupada did not
play. A lot
play.
of difference. That doesn't tell me anything, does it?
Prabhupada never played a guitar. First of all,
what is the difference?
Prabhupada never played a guitar.
Is that the big difference?
That's
the
one.
only difference.
And then what else? Hold on. Oh, 1 second, Arnan Prabhu.
Yes. You have to please forgive me. I'm in a physically bad condition right now.
That's fine. You can ask Rupa Manjari. Can you take over for a few minutes? I'm getting a call and some questions. 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, Rupa Manjari Prabhu. What do you think would be a remedy to bring Prabhupada, bring ISKCON into pure Krishna consciousness?
Setting the example.
The example.
Yeah.
The example, or the example, or some other the example?
Prabhupada's example.
Meaning? We should try to imitate Prabhupada?
Yeah.
He wouldn't like that.
Well, isn't that what we would be doing if we're chanting the way he chanted?
No, he would be chanting and you'll be absorbing. Not imitating, absorbing. And when you chant after he chants, you'll be duplicating.
Okay, duplicating.
Not imitating, not pretending. Imitating means to pretend.
Okay.
So let's use the good language. If you hear from something, supposing you're an opera singer and somebody's trying to teach you how to hit a high note, do you imitate that high note or do you understand how to produce it yourself?
Well, hopefully you understand how to produce it yourself.
Therefore, it's not imitating, right?
Okay.
If you imitate, it'll sound fake no matter how many times you do it.
Gotcha.
Thanks. So, in an ideal world that you would like to see, if you walked into if you get rid of the GBC and their sock puppet initiating guys, if you get rid of them, but you keep the pujaris, keep the deity worship, keep the kirtans, how would you get people to chant sublime kirtans?
Talking to them and explaining that Prabhupada is
what are you going to get by
gold
talking
standard?
or explain? What does talking or explaining do when it comes to kirtan?
Then I don't know what to say.
Okay, I'm back. So just get a microphone or headphone and then let them hear from Srila Prabhupada directly
Yeah,
speaking and chanting. No?
right? Why do I have to explain? Just put on the headphone
Yeah,
and
everything.
listen and become what you hear.
Yeah, Prabhupada has said everything.
Become the mantra. Become the surrender to the mantra.
Yeah,
Not just
Prabhupada.
learn it and become good at it or
Yeah,
imitate Prabhupada. No, you enter into the mood. And
right.
Prabhupada uses that sort of language to say
Mm.
you enter into the mood of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, everything is very expertly explained by
It
their,
may be expert explained, but it's expertly studied and understood and listened to by
yeah,
those who are disciples.
yeah, should be done.
It is.
Must be done.
You're saying it's expertly understood by the
No,
disciples.
no, no, not
Well, you
presently.
just said that. You just said that.
It should be done and must be done.
What should be done?
Oh, expertly understood, listened, and understood.
Well, is that the path towards rectifying ISKCON's future?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so we don't have to go anywhere else. And we don't have to
exactly.
fight any idiots.
No, there's no need to fight. Just present Prabhupada. Here is his conversation, lectures, chanting, how you should chant.
But we
Yeah.
don't present. He presents.
Yeah, Prabhupada presenting, you just give them the CD
No,
or
we don't
what.
do anything. We just give them show them where the on button is on the kirtan.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have to do anything, explain anything. Prabhupada will do everything.
Yeah, but this is the thing that once they have the microphone, they'll switch over to the melodies that they want to chant.
I'm talking about the microphone that Prabhupada is chanting. The
People
you put
people are
the on button. What I'm talking about is the on button that turns on Prabhupada's kirtan into your ears.
you're talking about actual technology.
Yeah. Where else are you going to hear Prabhupada? I mean, they're pretending there is no technology except when it comes to their own rock and roll kirtans. They pretend
Yeah,
because
but
they say
that's
Prabhupada is dead, therefore all that stuff is just archived.
that's the
so
thing.
Ramachandra,
That's the thing is that they'll just turn it off and then do their own thing. That because they're attached.
No. To be in the temple, they will be required to sit for an hour, 2 hours, or as many hours as they can spare, listening to Prabhupada as the requirement for being in the temple, and be told by those in charge of the temple, meaning senior godbrothers, that there is no question of chanting melodies that are not introduced by Prabhupada.
So there will be discussion.
Of course, but not instead of listening to Prabhupada.
Good. You said there wasn't going to be any discussion.
Instead of Prabhupada. We don't have to talk about Prabhupada. Let Prabhupada express himself. But what we say is sit down and listen for 2 hours. Then we don't talk about it while they're listening. They listen any way they can. Every day they can hear the same kirtans every way they can. But don't you agree that in the end they'll end up knowing how to chant in the same way that Prabhupada does?
In the end, sure, if they listen to the end.
They have to if they want to stay in the temple.
Yes, then there's no question about it.
Yeah, you're assuming that we're dealing with a bunch of people that don't want to study anything about Prabhupada. Now, why would we assume that? If they're willing to come in and hear some guru sing a secondhand version of a Prabhupada melody, why won't they be willing to listen to Prabhupada chanting a first-hand version of a Prabhupada melody? And wouldn't it be wise to tell the students that consider that when you hear Prabhupada, you are sitting at the feet, lotus feet of your spiritual master. And whatever you hear is meant for you to absorb so that you will become able to go back to home, back to Godhead.
Jai.
And if you have trouble doing it, do it again. That's what Prabhupada said. If you don't understand, read it again. If you don't hear it the first time, do it, hear it, listen again. Nobody is so stupid that they can't chant in the mood of Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada was not able to chant to his full satisfaction. There's incredible variations of kirtan, but he could never, he kept on trying to get into it. If you can hear him in kirtans, he kept on trying to get into a new dimension, but the devotees were so stubborn, they just wanted to stick with what they were doing, even though it was repeating what Prabhupada was chanting. But if he wanted to change the mood or change anything, they wouldn't do it. They just wanted to go ahead. They wanted to, basically, they were trying to follow Vishnu Chan more than Prabhupada, even when they were listening to Prabhupada.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very difficult.
I've noticed that in a couple of kirtans, Prabhupada wanted to change something, and the people did not follow along, so he had to revert back to the original sound. You know, he wanted to change it to something else. So yeah, that's a very good.
Yeah, but they, in their minds, their Orthodox Christian Catholic minds, we know this hymn, and you can't change the hymn in the middle. You have to continue with that hymn, and then maybe go to a different hymn later.
Yeah,
That's where their brains were. They're stuck.
yeah. Yesterday or the other day, I was listening to some kirtan, and Prabhupada was chanting, and he wanted to go to another,
Melody.
something, and no, the song, in the same song, melody, yeah, melody, and then they could not. Prabhupada could not do it. He had to come back to the same because they did not follow properly.
Yeah, they didn't follow. So could you play a little bit of that tape recording?
Sure, 1 second. Let me pull it up and I'll
Because
play.
I'd just like people who are listening right now.
Sure, yeah.
We're not just talking about something, talking about a person that died and is no longer able to chant. We want to hear what is available right now.
Okay, I'll do that in a few minutes. So this devotee also asked this question, which this question we have already answered, but because he has asked, I'm asking here.
Okay, what is the question?
1 second here. 1 second. So because we've, our whole movement is to bring Prabhupada back in the center. He's making this.
No, really, not to bring him back, to recognize he's always been in the center.
Yes, he's always.
We have blocked him out so that we can pretend that we are in the center.
Yes, yeah. He's saying, so he is only Prabhupada. So he's saying, so he, only Prabhupada, is the pure devotee and guru, and nobody else can be pure devotee or guru.
Well, isn't that obvious?
Isn't that obvious, Baba? Prabhupada is the only pure devotee and the only guru for ISKCON.
For 10,000 years.
For 10,000 years, yes. Why else did he write the word? The founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna
If you
Consciousness.
want a different guru, go join a Hindu Samaj somewhere and have fun. Enjoy yourself with your guru.
Yeah.
So if you want to go back to Godhead, concentrate on the one opportunity you will ever have to hear the Hare Krishna mantra uttered by a pure devotee of the Lord, who is an associate of Lord Krishna and is the transparent via medium by which the mantra came down to us to be polluted by others, but not, if you go straight to Prabhupada, not polluted. The more you chant like Prabhupada, the less polluted you will be. The whole problem came up that people wanted to chant differently to make their kirtans, you wanted to be in charge of their temple, their kirtan party. It was just gross materialism. That's all, nothing more.
John.
So go ahead.
Okay, let me find the video. This, this devotee, he's understood a lot of things wrongly. So,
What devotee is it?
it's the same guy who we had a conversation with.
Okay,
so-
Oh, Edwin?
Yeah.
Is he satisfied with the answer?
Well, he's well, he doesn't say if he's satisfied or not. It's very impersonal the way he's been raised in Krishna consciousness. So I'm trying to make a personal.
He was born in Krishna consciousness?
No, he was not born in Krishna consciousness, but
Well, you said raised in Krishna consciousness.
This is raised a Hindu, so not more or less he's sticking
Okay,
to
so
his Hindu point of view.
so what will spark the trigger the spark? Well, maybe this kirtan that you're about to play will spark. Compare this kirtan to the kirtans you hear in temples chanted by dear Krishna or anybody else, and see if what you think.
1 second, Prabhu. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Yes. All right, kirtan. Jai. People are so impersonal. Even though this meeting is going on, they don't want to directly participate. And
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Consciousness. We're not looking for their bodies or their minds or their voices. Even we're looking for who they are as spirit soul.
Well,
remember, Istagosti means jivas are talking to jivas, and jiva is only pure spirit soul. He may not have his Krishna Loka body for associating with Krishna, but whatever he has, it's the awakening sense that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. I believe Prabhupada said things like that.
Okay, let's see. Where's the video? Fantastic, Prabhupada.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I see it here. Okay, let me load it up. All right. Okay, let me make this big and then I'll share it.
Just compare this kirtan to the kirtans you hear and ask which kirtan is more likely to bring you back to Godhead.
Okay, Jai.
Are you going to be able to put the visual up as well or not?
Yeah, this is the visual, right? Can we see?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play it 1 second here. How do you go? Okay, let me share the sound. Share sound. No smoking, please.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Jai.
This is Vaikuntanath right here. And does everyone know? This,
That's Vaikuntanath?
yeah, right here.
I can't very well see.
Okay,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
you can do that right here.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
This is Vaikuntanath here. The one in the orange.
I don't think so.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
We can stop whenever you like, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Vaikuntanath was married very early on.
Yeah, 60 or 69 or 70. 69, I think, right?
No, that's 68.
68. Oh, 68. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't think that's Vaikuntanath.
And
yeah.
also, I think his hair is lighter than that.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not Vaikuntanath then.
It's not Vaikuntanath.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks
So
like.
anyhow, that's good.
Yes.
So now, may I ask you a basic question?
Sure. What's the question?
Was Prabhupada chanting for the people that were hearing him at that time?
He was chanting for all time.
Yes.
Thank you.
All time. Yes. Why only
Well,
one?
what would you say? Was he chanting for people at that time?
That time and all time, because why are we trying to say only one time? No.
I would like to say, because we're listening now, he was chanting for us now.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
That's all generalities, you know.
okay. You want to
Blah,
talk
blah, 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 blah,
specifically?
blah, blah, you know. What's
Okay.
he chanting? Who is he chanting for? He's chanting for me now. Was he chanting for you now?
Yes, chanting for me now too. Yes.
Not two, just chanting for you now, because we're all individuals, right?
Yes. Okay,
He's
chanting for
chanting for
me.
me, an individual, chanting for you, individual. Chanting
Yes.
for Rupa and Joy, individual.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
individual. Yes.
So does that tell us something about having Prabhupada chanting 500 years from now the same melodies that he chanted in that tape?
Yes.
Who will he be chanting for?
For you, for that individual person
When?
at that point in time, whenever they
What are
listen.
we talking about that point in time?
We're talking about now for us, and we're talking about now for them also, if they hear it.
Yeah, you'll be chanting for them when they hear him,
Yeah, that's what I said. When they hear it.
almost.
Yeah. So if they hear it in the future, 20 years from now, 30 years, 1,000 years, they'll be chanting for them at that specific point.
Well, how about 500 years from now?
Yeah, 500 years from now. Yes.
Because there's no time on the transcendental sound vibration.
Yeah, there's no relativity on that level. Yes.
No, but whoever was listening to Prabhupada at that time, oh, Prabhupada is chanting now for us at this place and this time.
Yeah. In that way, yeah, they've relativized
Yeah,
spiritual
but you
sound
see,
vibration.
it's our privilege to be able to unlock that reality so that we can see that whenever Prabhupada chants is now.
Mm.
So if he
Time.
is if he kirtans are being listened to through headsets,
Mm.
he will be chanting now, meaning
Yeah.
at the time that the people are listening to the headsets.
Right.
So where is the question that you need a successor guru?
No, that question is not even there.
Well, yes. So you can see that when he did chant in that tape, it ended up with successor gurus coming out of that chanting. In other words, they deliberately misunderstood.
Yeah.
Now, when Prabhupada said to me, please don't try to misunderstand. Misunderstanding is already there.
Yeah.
So they heard Prabhupada, then they came up with their own idea. They didn't
Yeah.
take it. They didn't take it as 100% their command from Krishna Loka via Prabhupada.
That's they think there's Prabhupada, and then that's Prabhupada's message, and it's two different things. And there's my understanding of the message. So
Well,
my understanding,
yeah,
my understanding of the
that's what the
message.
materialist does, isn't it?
Yeah. Then my understanding takes prominence instead of what Prabhupada is saying. If my understanding is incorrect.
It's not direct, kinetically experiential.
What did you say? Can you say that again?
It's not kinetically experiential.
Yes.
In other words, it's not an immediate experience, because the more a person talks and thinks about it, the sooner it will go away.
What do you mean?
They'll just talk about it until there's nothing more to say about it. Then they'll change the subject to something else. Hey, how many fish did you catch when you went fishing last weekend? Different topic.
Well, then that is not spirituality. Then if you want to change the topic from Krishna to something else, then how is it
Well,
spirituality?
that's what they did.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they turned it from Srila Prabhupada's melodies to their own, whatever
Yeah.
nonsense.
And they turned it into their own experience, their own desires, their own lust, their own, even they may be celibate. They had a lust for fame, a lust for being worshipped.
Yeah, I mean, you
A
can be
lust for
celibate, but
this,
you might
that.
have lust for something else. So
Everyone has, unless you're a pure devotee, you have lust for something.
yeah, so
As long as you have a material body from which you are not 100% detached, That would mean you have to advance Madhyamadikari before you're detached from your material body, right?
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, as long as you have a material body that tells you what you want to eat and what to think and who you think is cute, what girl you think is cute, you're going to be subject to the antithesis of spiritual realization. That's a great danger. You get some knowledge, then you think you have it, and then you use it for your body.
Yeah. Or you. Yes.
No, the way I'm talking makes people uncomfortable right now. But the actual fact is,
Why should it make people uncomfortable?
because they're attached to their bodies. I am, you are, everybody is.
Yeah. So what? I mean, who isn't? So
that's
why?
why when you go into an ISKCON temple, instead of hearing Vaisheshika leading a kirtan, why not go in and hear either Prabhupada on the loudspeaker plate leading the kirtan, or the devotees that have studied with their headphones chanting in such a way that you're thinking that's almost exactly like Prabhupada.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's clearly Bir Krishna, that's clearly Vaisheshika. What if you say that's clearly Prabhupada? That's what we're looking at right now.
Right.
And it's not comfortable, is it?
Comfortable because we
Do we
have.
feel comfortable with that notion, or are we struggling in the midst of that notion?
You mean the kirtan aspect or the book aspect or what? Kirtan
No, the
aspect.
kirtan,
Okay.
just the Prabhupada's personal sound vibration platform.
Well, whenever.
Because part of us wants to go along with the crowd.
Well, I never went along with the crowd, so.
Well, you didn't, but so you went against the crowd you didn't want to go along with.
Yeah.
That's another way of going along with the crowd, is to resist the crowd. It's still about the crowd. This
Well,
is
the
why
crowd.
that we drop any criticism of the ISKCON gurus and the ISKCON or anything GBC. Just hold them accountable for the crimes they committed. Yes. But we don't need to get caught up in being against what they're doing. Like this whole Ritvik thing is being against the gurus.
Why
What
against anyone?
What does that accomplish? It just
Nothing.
makes you into a guru worshiper in reverse.
Guru worship in reverse.
Reverse.
Oh,
Yeah. Isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, if you hate the ISKCON gurus, then you're worshiping them. You're thinking about them day and night, but against them rather than for them. I'd like to ask practically, what's the difference? What's the difference between hatred and love? They're both forms of attachment for the same object. You hate that person, you love that person. It's all about that person. It has nothing to do with Prabhupada, say.
Yeah, that's a relative way of thinking, hate and love.
Yeah. But we think that if I hate the gurus, I've made some progress. Well, in some sense you have.
Yeah.
If you hate, it's not hating the gurus, but if you can see through them and say it's bogus. But what if you get carried away by saying it's bogus, it's bogus, it's bogus? That's another form of same attachment.
Yeah.
From the negative rather than the positive side.
Yeah. Jai.
So that's why I'm proposing a new object of attachment.
Yeah, that's very hard for the conditioned soul to give up
It's
this.
impossible for the conditioned soul.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about. What am I proposing as an alternative to
drop this hate and love and this dualistic way of approaching things?
Well, that's negative too. So what should we do?
We should accept what has happened and be like, okay, this is not what Prabhupada wanted. And
That's still negative. What should we do as a cure.
Oh, just play Prabhupada. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Until that's the only way we understand kirtan to be.
Yeah, that's it. Only play Prabhupada the way he's playing and teaching and Mridanga beats, everything he's giving. And in this way, it's
That's the
purely,
point. But see how difficult it is, even between you and me and Rupa in this
Yeah.
association, to identify that.
yeah, it
because
took a
we're
long
so
time.
caught up in the relativities.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I've been thinking about, the relativity of these things and how it's temporary. So most of the time we're just caught up in from one hook to another hook. The hook is a hook, right? So,
Exactly. So
So-
if you're against, so that's why the guru people don't like the Ritwik people, because they see you're attached to the same thing we are, except with hatred rather than with love.
yeah.
So we
Right.
have to avoid the duality.
Yeah, the duality, yes, yes. Yeah, Prabhupada gives the example of dry stool and wet stool. Both are stool.
Yes.
One is dry side and wet side, same thing.
Yeah,
So-
but we don't need to become, our topic is not, our mouth is not meant for stool.
Right, exactly.
So what I'm trying to do is to see how close are we getting to the position of being able to see if probably, I asked you to play that kirtan, which you kindly did.
Haribol.
What if every temple you went into, that's all you would hear is Prabhupada chanting? And then what happens on the sound system? And what would happen if you go into the temple and you hear a kirtan, and all you hear is a kirtan that reminds you so strongly of Prabhupada that you can hardly just tell the difference? What if you went into an ISKCON temple like that? What would happen to all the negatives?
There won't be any negative.
They'll be gone, right?
Yeah, simple,
Well, that's the point.
right?
The negatives will have evaporated. And the positives of the Guru system will have evaporated. All you'll have left is the reality of Prabhupada. And I would challenge anyone that goes into an ISKCON temple where Prabhupada's kirtan is being studied through headphones, chanted during Arti and kirtans. I challenge anyone to say that Prabhupada is dead. Right?
Right.
How
Okay,
can you say that?
We have a question from a friend that was on our program.
Go ahead,
People-
answer it.
Yeah, so he's saying, okay. He said, but Krishna needs variety, a variety of tunes of Maha Mantra. Variety is the mother of enjoyment. We need guitar, drums, harmonium, etc. to glorify the Maha Mantra.
Is that what they do in Krishna Loka? Guitars, drums. I mean, there's a lot of variety in the material world.
But we're not concerned about the varieties of the material world. We're concerned about
No,
what
no, I'm talking about this person is concerned.
No,
They
no.
want
Yes, I'm answering his question that in our understanding, we're not concerned about all the varieties of everything that Prabhupada did not speak of, and
Well, the point is, isn't the main point, what do they play in Krishna Loka?
yeah,
And if you play material sounds to the Mahamantra in America or in Europe or wherever you are, won't that turn, why not ask that person, how will chanting these guitars and stuff like that affect you in your next birth? What sort of birth will you take with your variety of kirtans? Where will they be chanted when you die? In Krishna Loka?
well, Prabhupada gave very specific instructions about kirtan. He said mardanga and kartals. So I'm not sure why he's bringing guitars and drums and this and that. So I guess he's trying to say that,
Mridangas, but Prabhupada actually told me to play guitar, but that's a unique situation.
Hmm. He's saying it will attract more people. Playing your guitar and your big drums and
That's what he's saying.
yeah, he's saying if you have variety, then it will attract more people
To what?
to Krishna consciousness. That's what I'm thinking.
What do you want to attract them to?
What do you want them to do? Okay.
Srila Prabhupada.
Don't you want them to chant in a way that will please Krishna in Krishna Loka? The people that you want to attract, do you want to attract them to moving their root chakra around because it stimulates their root chakra? Their genitals, you want to stimulate those because they find it attractive? That's what the rock and roll sort of kirtan does. Just stand back at the kirtans and watch people's bodies and ask which chakras are being activated. Just watch. You'll see it's not the crown chakra, not the heart chakra. Why would the heart chakra be attracted by rock and roll sound vibration?
Okay, so
and by the way, the melodies, I'm sure they chant many different melodies in Krishna Loka. So where are you going to get these different melodies? Somewhere other than Krishna Loka or from Krishna Loka? Can you ask him that?
well, he's listening, so he can answer. So
Well, let him answer.
ask.
Where do these other melodies come from?
Yeah. So
And where, if you chant them, will they take you? One question is, where do they come from? Second question, where will they take you at the time of death?
right. Okay, so
Would you imagine that they do rock and roll kirtans in Krishna Loka? In which case you need to buy a Krishna book.
right. Okay, so we have a question from, we'll wait for his reply, our devotee friend.
Okay.
And we have another question from Vinayak Prabhu.
Jai.
Okay, hold on one second. He's saying, I want to ask about the preaching programs that some devotees try to do, which may now be as direct as Srila Prabhupada did. For example, restaurant or hostel, and slowly giving Krishna conscious knowledge to people, because if people are of a type which are allergic to religion, then they would prevent themselves to take direct in any sort of direct preaching activities. Is it all right to use indirect methods to preach?
Okay. Is he talking about in the temple?
I don't know. He's saying, I would like to ask preaching program.
I'm talking about in the temple and on Sankirtan.
He's
Now,
saying,
if you're on Sankirtan, you chant Lord Chaitanya style. If you're in the temple, you chant Prabhupada Lord Chaitanya style.
he's saying,
If you're talking to somebody in the out of doors, if you're selling them,
he's talking about preaching programs to
what is the preaching program?
Yeah, what is the preaching program? He's talking about,
What is
say,
the preaching program?
yeah, that's very.
Where is the preaching program?
Okay, yeah. So if he's listening, you got to type your, answer to that question. No, where is the preaching program? What is the preaching program? So he says, sorry, I cannot actively speak here. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Jai.
All glory to
Let's
Srila
just say that we're talking about in the context of the student learns in the temple. That's what the temple is for. It's the Kinnasadakari platform. He learns how to perfect the Brahman platform and approach the Paramatma form
Jai.
in the temple. Now, what you do when you're preaching outside in the street, well, a lot of times you have to do all sorts of tricky things to preach outside in the street. So that we'd have to go over each and everything. But we're not talking here about preaching in the street. We're talking here about in the temple. the perfection of chanting in the temple. Just like if you're a Buddhist monk, you don't have rock and roll. Maybe they do now, but in Japan, I doubt if they go to a Zen monastery if they have rock and roll Buddhist mantras.
Okay, so I'd like to read some comments from our devotee friend community online.
Jai.
They've shared a lot of comments. So 1 second here. Let's see. Okay. There's lots, I guess several devotees were watching online. So
Okay, so what are the questions?
Aristo Prabhu, our
Jai Aristo.
old gang. I said Hare Krishna. Moses Singleton Prabhu, he's also watching. He's
Jai.
likes our videos. Haribol, peace and blessings. Moses Singleton again, Prabhu says, hey Elizabeth Cagle, this is Bhakta Corey Singleton. Haribol, peace and blessings. Then Moses Prabhu says, Haribol, Nathan Jack, peace and blessings to you, or should I say Narayan Das? Haribol, Ramachandra Singh, or
They're the same. Nathan Zakheim is actually a sort of a spiritual name, but Narayan is the spiritual name that was given by Prabhupada.
Then it says, I say Ronald Singh, peace and blessings to you, peace and blessings to all the assembled devotees. And
Jai. If you agree, say Jai so loudly
Haribol,
that your next door neighbors will wake up.
So I think he's watching from somewhere New Jersey or New York. Then what is it? Danashu
Danish.
Aditya. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Radharani Krishna, Haribol, Moses Singleton, exactly. Let the discussion continue. Haribol from South India. All glories to
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
And then Moses Singleton Prabhu uses the heart chakra.
So the secret is Prabhupada Kirtan only, Prabhupada Mridanga beat only. And in that way, Prabhupada will be living. And how do you do it? You don't just try to remember how Prabhupada chanted. You listen to Prabhupada chanting in various melodies. He didn't chant that many, maybe 10 melodies, different melodies. Learn all 10 melodies perfectly. Learn how they were used and when they were used. And then when you have kirtan in the temple, use them appropriately.
Yes. And then
you
there's some more comments.
Prabhupada as your guru.
Yes. And there's some more comments.
Obviously.
Jai. And there's some more comments. Srila Prabhupada is the only way to attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. Moses Singleton. Srila Prabhupada will be the only guru in which to be linked to the Supreme Person for the next 10,000 years, period.
That's the right thing to say.
Then he says, then Hare Krishna says.
That is a perfect conclusion.
Jai. Hare Krishna says, by his grace, one can cross over the material ocean and attain the mercy of Krishna. Aristo Prabhu says, Haribol. Hare Krishna says, Srila Prabhupada, you have opened my darkened eyes and fill my heart with transcendental knowledge. Obeisances to all devotees, Aristo Prabhu saying, Hare Krishna. You are my Lord birth after birth, Moses Singleton. Thus through his lotus feet alone will be able to obtain our lost constitutional position. Hare
Those
Krishna.
are very nice things to say.
Yeah.
You want,
Hare Krishna.
do you want my responses to all of those beautiful sayings? Do you know what it is?
Only you can say.
Do something about it.
Jai. Do something.
Saying
about
something
it.
nice is wonderful. Do something about it is transformational.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna says, Hare Krishna Prabhupada was chanting for us now and in the future. By the torch of our fingertips, Srila Prabhupada will appear on any of our devices or reading his books.
Exactly.
Hare Krishna. Amazing.
You see, we're making headway in this topic. And the thing to remember is, even if you have an ISKCON guru or any other guru, you don't need him. Just listen to Prabhupada.
Jai. Then he says, Hare Krishna says, if you disobeyed my orders, you are finished. ISKCON gurus, blind GBC blind followers are finished. Okay. Then Arishta Prabhu says, the only, what is this word?
Curative.
What does that mean? I gotta look it up. Hold on.
Only what?
Curative. Cure. Okay. Yeah.
Curative?
Yeah.
Curative means the only cure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I got it. The only curative for yesterday's sorrows, today's doubts, and tomorrow's uncertainties is His divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
So why not have him at the center of ISKCON as your guru?
Jai. As it is via the 10,000-year league, return to Godhead, Hare Krishna.
10,000 years means Prabhupada 10,000 years.
Jai.
Alive, not
Jai.
old man who died in 1977. No, that is the materialistic view. Oh, the grandfather died, and so now we are dividing what he left as the inheritance, and we'll each get a chunk of that inheritance. That is demoniac thinking,
Jai.
particularly since they poisoned them to get the treasure. That is super demoniac thinking.
And then
No, we have to think Prabhupada for the next 10,000 years means played through the sound system of every temple.
Jai.
And I am sure that if we make a very great effort for Prabhupada to be chanting in every single temple, that the means to do it will exist
Okay.
long enough, either for the sound system to be continuously maintained for 10,000 years, or the concept of it, the cyber stuff is getting more sophisticated. You might have a thing the size of a marble for playing marbles that will give you all of Prabhupada's kirtans and lectures, no matter what happens to the world. We don't know what's going to happen next. Thanks to the sacred Elon Musk, he'll come up with something.
Okay, so let's continue reading. And then he says, the physical manifestation of all desires is the result of spiritual, what is it? Decrepitude. Let's see, what does this mean?
How do you spell it?
Decrepitude.
Decrepitude?
Yeah, worn out or ruined.
Decrepitude, decrepit means to be disintegrating.
Yeah, worn out or ruined
Like an old coat that is getting ragged.
Age, yeah, by the age, yes. And then he says, Hare Krishna. And then Moses Singleton asks one question, which he says here. Then, do we think that the Gopi Bhava club established by Tim Lee was the most inappropriate, correct? For it does not attract people to Krishna consciousness, which would explain Srila Prabhupada's reaction.
Can you explain that a little bit or decipher it? Or Rupa, can you decipher it? What is saying?
So he's talking about
The Gopi Baba Club.
Yeah, he's talking about the Gopi Baba Club, and established by Tim Lee was most inappropriate,
Yes.
question mark, correct? For it does not
Correct.
attract people to Krishna consciousness, which would explain Srila Prabhupada's reaction.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, when you start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Gopis' pastimes are in the 10th canto. When you join ISKCON, you don't jump into the 10th canto. You read the first canto,
Yes.
Krishna's lotus feet, and you keep on going up. Each canto is a section of his body. So you have to realize, not just read, but realize each section of his body before you can get to the 10th canto. When you get to the 10th canto by that process, then you are no longer subjected to material lusty desires. But if you go to read about sexy pastimes of gopis when you first join the movement, the way Narayan Maharaj liked to teach, you're just going to get people hooked on material desire, and they'll be committing offenses against the gopis. Everything the gopis did with Krishna is transcendental, but you have to be on the pure devotional platform to understand it. So that's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is for. You go step by step, not jump into Gopi Bhava, which is 10th canto.
Try. Okay. Let's see here. I think we're coming down to the wire. So if anyone has any more questions, they can join the WhatsApp group or send us a message. And then
Yeah, that's great. So what do you think triggered so many questions and statements?
well, I'm not really sure what triggered. We were discussing
It
about
was Prabhupada chanting the Hare Krishna mantra that did that?
yes, you can say.
I don't know. I don't know, because we usually don't get that many, do we, in each session?
Well,
Or
we
do
get people who watch, our video view count is going up. So it's not like it's going
That's
down.
good.
So
Well, let's keep it going up, because we want everyone,
up and away.
regardless of species.
Try.
We want all of the mice to jump in ecstasy when they hear the holy name of Krishna.
Try.
That was Prabhupada's direct instruction to me in 1968.
Many watching. Christopher Allen. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So
We've got 12 more minutes.
yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do with them?
Well, we can end 12 minutes early.
Oh, good God, that's out of the question. Rupa Manjari, do you think you could, or can, I think I sent it to you also, is that interview in 1968 of Srila Prabhupada?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure too.
In Seattle.
No.
Rupa,
Oh, the interview that I sent you?
yes. Did you send it to Ramachandra also?
No, but I can send it right now.
Sure.
Send it
Please.
right now.
Okay.
If maybe we have enough time to read it,
Yeah.
because it's very, very important.
Okay. Let's do it. We got about 11 minutes.
Okay, I sent it.
Okay, you got it.
But the thing is it's very, very long. It's going to be much longer than 12 minutes.
Well, read until your 12 minutes is up. Or maybe skip through it and read the parts that are more to the point.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. I'll see what I can do. Let me. Try.
It's just one page, isn't it?
Let's see.
It's a lot more than one page.
Oh,
Well, yeah, let's deal with what it is. Even
Let's
if we
see.
read part of it, it'll be better than not doing anything. Or where is the good part? Is that at the end? Why not start after the middle and read the part?
Rupa Manjari Prabhu, why? What was the specific reason you shared this? Maybe you can give a.
Well,
Good.
Narayan asked me to find Prabhupada's quote on hierarchy in ISKCON. And it was in this interview that he talks about that ISKCON does not have a hierarchical system in place.
Okay.
Okay, Rupa, can you point out in your knowledge of that document where he could start to where Prabhupada is directly, he was talking about a number of things. What, is there a part where he went straight to that part about no hierarchy?
I'm trying to find it. I don't see it.
Okay, let me look it up. 1 second here. September 24th, 1968. September 24th, 1968.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, September.
So the interviewer says, what is your hierarchy in Krishna
Oh,
conscious?
yeah, why don't you read it, Rupa? That's good.
Hold on. What is
What is your hierarchy? HIERARCHY.
Okay. Okay, got it. Hold on. Let me share it, then you can read it so people can follow. 1 second. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we'll read that and then we'll come discuss more later. Okay, there we go. Here it is. Okay.
Okay, what is your hierarchy in Krishna conscious? That is, do you have anything comparable to bishops and the hierarchy of the Christian faith and of other major faiths? That is, you are the spiritual preceptor, and who are all those below you, between you and the congregation, the members? Prabhupada. It is not exactly the hierarchy, but in the Christian method, Roman Catholic method, the process of the Pope, Archbishop, and that is very nice. There is no objection of us. But our point is that Krishna consciousness is lacking. In spite of all arrangement, if people lost faith in God, so simply by hierarchy, what is the benefit there? There is no benefit. You see, Bambarambe Lagu Kriya, in the Sanskrit word, that you can make a very high grade arrangement, but the result is 0. So that hierarchical arrangement is exactly not in Krishna consciousness. But our method is very simple. If one is fortunate enough to meet a bona fide spiritual master, and if he acts strictly under his discipline, he also becomes, within a very short time, another spiritual master.
Okay.
Is there any more parts?
Oh yeah, it's a huge part. I mean,
What, do you want to grab something that you like? Or is there any other part that you'd like to?
oh well, I'd like to read this part here.
Okay.
Interviewer.
Okay.
We
Sure.
got some time. How does one feel? No, what is it? Interviewer. How does one feel called toward Krishna consciousness? That is, does he begin by faith, or does what demands are made upon him? How does he come into the frame of mind where he can accept Krishna consciousness? A very practical question. Prabhupada gives a one reply. Prabhupada, of course, faith is the basic principle of everything. If you have no faith, then you cannot make progress in any line of action. So in Krishna consciousness is also, faith is the basic principle. Just like I've come here, I've started my classes in New York. So I was alone chanting Hare Krishna. Somebody came naturally out of inquisitiveness. Somebody comes. Somebody came and, oh, what this Indian man is doing. Let me see.
Swami.
Oh, what is this Indian Swami is doing? Let me see. So he sat down. Some other came, he sat down. Then some of them took it. Oh, Swami speaks very nice. Let me come again. He comes, and then he gets some faith. Oh, Krishna consciousness is very nice. Then next point is that he wants intimate relationship with the Swami or me. Swamiji, I've heard you so many days. I think it is very nice. So I want to be your student. So faith is the basic principle. The next stage is that he wants to become a student. And as soon as he wants to become a student, the next stage is that I accept him as a disciple if I think he is suitable. Then as soon as he becomes a disciple, he follows my regulated principles. He follows my regulated principles, injunctions. Then gradually he becomes free from all misgivings, and naturally he gives up illicit sex, life, or gambling, or meat eating, and so many other things. In that way, he becomes fixed up. Then he develops a taste. He cannot give up the society taste. Then attraction, attachment. He wants to do everything for the society. In this way, he develops love of Krishna. And in the final stage, he loves only Krishna and nobody else. And because Krishna includes everyone, that means he loves everyone. Okay.
That's 3 minutes to go.
All right. So we're going to let the Mohit Prabhu come in, and then he's going to finish it up. Anyways, that's very wonderfully. Rupa Manjari Prabhu, thank you for finding that. It's very early.
The problem is, I think this is interpreted. I'm trying to find the original document, and I think it was published in the Seattle Times. And I'm trying to find the original article. I've sent out a request to Govinda Dasi if she has it, because she was there. And it would be nice, because the date is impossible. Because was it the September 20th, Rupa?
24th, I think.
Yeah, 24th.
September 24th, 1968.
I took initiation on the 20th. After that, about a week later, I went to Seattle, spent at least a week and a half developing the Seattle temple, and then Prabhupada came up.
Maybe they just made a mistake and put the wrong date on it.
Well, I don't think they did it maliciously, but we need to, for our purposes, we need everything to be exactly the way it was.
Okay. Right.
So Mohit is on?
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam Prabhu.
Hey, Mohit Prabhu. Do I owe you an apology?
No, not at all, Prabhu.
'Cause
I
the
owe
other
you
night-
apology. I'm
No,
not
you
patient.
You left the discussion the other night. I thought maybe you left because you had asked me a
No,
question
Prabhu.
and I hadn't answered it.
Prabhu, texted in the group, I guess, to everyone that I'm busy in some work, Prabhu. Not at all. Never, Prabhu.
You're okay, huh?
Yeah, Haribo. Yes, Prabhu.
No, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but we had a fantastic kirtan led by Srila Prabhupada playing.
Hari bol. I read your email, Prabhu. So, yeah, I know
You heard it. You got to hear the kirtan?
Not. I read your email, Prabhu. Email ID. You just sent me the email, no? In the morning. I got an email from you.
Oh,
in the
yes.
morning.
Yes.
Read
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that was what we were talking about. Yeah. Yes, exactly.